Hello everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup between RazerMoon and Gens. This game taking place here on Deja Vu. MuscleMike spawning as the teal orc here at what I'll call the 8 o'clock position. His partner to the north of him opening things up with an altar of elders, Moonwell, and most likely an Ancient of War right around the corner. Here is MassOwn. On the other side of the map, it is going to be Gens and RazerMoon. RazerMoon spawning as the red night elf here at the 2 o'clock position. And finally, Gens spawning under the name Mayhem here at what I'll call the 5 o'clock position. 2v2 matchup should be pretty standard in terms of openings, but as we all know, 2v2 is double the chaos, as well. You can be extremely aggressive, play with your partner, try to go creeping, have two simultaneous 1v1 games at the same time. That's often what it feels like those first couple of minutes feels like. Hey K-Real, thank you for tuning in, and however you may be watching and listening, I'm so glad you joined me today. Accidental click on a WarCraft 3 video wondering what it is, or most likely a returning subscriber and returning viewer. Demon Hunter and Farsi are going to be going up against Keeper of the Grove and an Archmage. Alright, so no double up on heroes from the two Night Elf players, as we're looking at Happy Almost Friday. Yes, Happy Almost Friday. My Thursday just getting started, considering, well, my Thursday just getting started. Anyways, Wisp trying to get away here. Archer is going to be able to pelt it down. No, it is not. Ancient of War taking a little bit more damage perhaps than is expected. Now trying to pull back here. And that is quite a bit of damage. Archer is going to actually be forced to try and attack up on the high ground, which means that it could miss quite a bit of damage. All right, that little bit of a Wisp trick by MassOwn really dealing quite a bit of damage to this Keeper of, or this Ancient of War here, as this Ancient of War does need to summon up a couple of treants. Ancient of War was down to 10 hit points at one point, quickly loses aggro, and now needs to make its way back up. Meanwhile, Militia clearing out of this mercenary creep camp here. Forest Troll High Priest going to get easily surrounded. There's a roar right there. Does it? Nope. Archmage Water Elemental was not purged. Not quite sure how that one guy lost so much mana early on. Perhaps a purge onto a footman or something else. Alright, Force Troll Shadow Priest still coming across with a bit of heals. Mayhem gonna get to level 2, picks up Claws of Attack +8. Meanwhile, on the top left, we are looking at MassOwn opening things up, clearing out this mercenary creep camp of his own, getting to level 2 on the Demon Hunter, and the Demon Hunter at level 2 getting the most efficient item for him at all, that Talisman of Evasion. Alright, so Claws of Attack for the Archmage. Meanwhile, Talisman of Evasion for the Demon Hunter. Well, perhaps the Demon Hunter is going to hold onto that Talisman of Evasion and now use Immolation to try and clear out this creep camp. You can see how effective it is on time, being able to do, well, I believe that is 30 damage a second just by standing there and being able to easily clear out this creep camp there. Archmage still continuing to clear out this Ogre Warrior creep camp, and poor little Farseer here does have 2 grunts, has cleared out of this expo, didn't pick up the Tome of Intelligence, and has a Voodoo Lounge down here. Alright, Deja Vu, a little bit of a large map, no one really coming across the center just quite yet, as we're going to be going into an engagement now. Alright, Forest Troll Shadow Priest does have a couple of Abolish magics, so you can see Tome of Strength being left behind there, as the Farsi are going to go after that. Nope. Chain Lightning trying to finish off some of those peasants instead. Peasant 1 down. Now going after perhaps some of those other units. Low hit point Grunt going to be able to retreat. Farseer trying to go after some additional units. 1 or 2 more attacks. There's a Chain Lightning. There is a final attack there, as the, well, units are being forced to retreat back. Mikey or MuscleMike being forced to pull back here. There is a healing salve. Wolves gonna go ahead and retreat, and where are all these units gonna run off to? The downside is, well, RazerMoon is right in the middle portion of the map. That grunt of MuscleMike trying to retreat back home, only to accidentally run into, well, the hands, or I guess the grasp of that Keeper of the Grove. Farseer now joined alongside by the Demon Hunter. This Forest Troll Berserker could easily get cleaned up. Demon Hunter does have Boots of Speed, gonna get tripped up on a crab right there, and that Forest Troll Berserker just trying to hide, not gonna be able to do it, and now gets taken down. Farseer nicely regenerated some hit points with that healing salve, was able to put in a little bit more pressure, but the expo of, well, the expo of Gens under the name Mayhem is going to get constructed most likely. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest getting easily cleaned up there. 1 or 2 more attacks. Archmage with that claws of attack plus 13 total, able to easily take down that Forest Troll, Shadow Priest. Demon Hunter, what is he doing? This is not going to be able to stick around very easily, trying to rack up damage against these peasants here as the Archmage is trying to shut down this footman. There goes another peasant again. Are we going to see a Staff of Teleportation out of here? He's going to be in trouble. Down to 48 hit points, down to 31. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, Archmage may be able to get off another shot. It does. It's down to 7 hit points, and he survives. All right, talk about using every bit of your hit points to try and damage your opponent. That's exactly what we saw there. More and more peasants are getting taken out, but with this Arcane Tower finally up and footmen there to defend, that's not going to hold on very long. Hunter's Hall of MassOwn gonna get taken out easily. The archers able to do plenty of damage while the building is under construction. RazerMoon putting in pressure. We're going to see a Staff of Teleportation inbound. Keeper of the Grove, well, unable to finish off the Demon Hunter. There's a mana burn right there, perhaps trying to get a little bit more Moonwell juice. Demon Hunter going to try and re-engage as the tree ants are now coming alive as well. All right, Demon Hunter, is he going to turn on the Immolation? Forest Troll Berserker of MassOwn going to get cleaned up right there. RazerMoon there with the Naga Sea Witch from the other end again. All right, bit of trouble. We are at Tree of Ages. Hunter's Hall trying to be placed down, but with no Hunter's Hall, no additional production buildings, as the Night Elf does have this Expo here. So definitely winning in the Expo economic race, but while army and boots on the ground being led by RazerMoon and RazerMoon and Gens. We may see too much damage absorbed here while he's trying to get his infrastructure up and operational. Coming back around is, well, MuscleMike could try and leave behind a building here, try and train up some additional units from that mercenary camp, and with all that additional gold. 28 over 20 supply, though, currently upside down on supply, needs to build more Moonwells if he can. All right, Army, Archmage, inbound, Tauren Chieftain, Farseer now going to be fighting here. Both sides going to, well, push back. We're seeing a bit of Chain Lightning, Purge. There's illusions all across the map as well. Mana burn onto the Naga Sea Witch for a level 1 takedown. Demon Hunter perhaps going to go after some other additional targets. Immolation turned on, and, well, MassOwn and MuscleMike going to be able to hold on to here, barely finishing off this, well, what was originally a 2v1 attack, now being forced to retreat back. Keeper of the Grove is going to come across here, see all of this, see what is going down, and say, you know what, there is no way I can really stick around in this, stick around in this situation, knowing that the Night Elf and the Orc player both have Expos. Demon Hunter at 4, Naga Sea Witch at 1. Gonna perhaps try and put pressure on this Expo here. 35 over 48 supply. Meanwhile, well, Archmage does have Boots of Speed, able to outrun that Tauren Chieftain with that Endurance Aura as they are looking to retreat back. Demon Hunter comes across inside here, doesn't have any more mana, says, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to go ahead and hold position here, try to attack and engage. Meanwhile, his own Naga Sea Witch actually got taken out during that time, so he's not going to be able to dive in here easily at all. Demon Hunter doesn't have much mana. There's good defense across both sides. And what is going to go down here? A Demon Hunter without mana, or a hero without mana. Not nearly as powerful as it could be, as the tech to tier 2 now done. All right, Gens with that tech to tier 2, getting level 1 weapons upgrades, also getting in more riflemen, could train up that long range rifle. Archmage trying to, well, perhaps build a wall, water elemental there to tank some of that damage, as the Demon Hunter is going to be forced to retreat back. Now, MuscleMike is taking this opportunity to clear out green creep camps, level up his heroes. We can see that the Demon Hunter is also engaging. MuscleMike's Farseer is also in this engagement as well, so we see some split action from both of these players. Farseer, is he going to be able to help that Demon Hunter head back home? It does not look like it, and, well, down to 251 hit points. Dryad's going to get in a slow poison attack. It's going to get stuttered down a little bit as the Raider now, well, running alongside that Demon Hunter, perhaps if necessary. Demon Hunter going to pivot back off to the north. Meanwhile, Naga Sea Witch back in the middle portion of the map, well, unit's going to try and retreat back again. MuscleMike with only one Orc Burrow in the southern spot, sitting on 1,600 gold. And this is one of those situations where he needed to find a way to spend this gold to have boots on the ground and be able to defend this, well, relatively weak position. You can see MuscleMike only with one Orc Burrow, not going to be able to hold on to the stationary defense, as the army now going to perhaps try and engage here, or perhaps completely give it up. All right, so this has become an NWS situation, a not worth saving expo, as this Great Hall is going to get taken out only to buy time to perhaps exchange expos. This farm, well, the farms are going to be protecting the town hall here, and this is going to be difficult to try and clear. Are we going to see a shockwave chain lightning push through? There's a shockwave, there's a chain lightning. Farseer doesn't have that much mana. You can see the units now retreating back here. A bunch of low hit point units could easily get cleaned up, as the town hall now suffering quite a bit of damage. There's another shockwave ripping on through. A couple of more peasants going to get taken out. And what is going down here? Farseer summoned up a couple of spirit wolves, but unable to take down this spot. Stormbolt onto the raider. Meanwhile, Dryads trying to take down reinforced Orc burrows. Not an easy task whatsoever. That piercing damage, well, significantly higher as more treants are coming off of the lumber line to engage and perhaps absorb damage. Coming back across off to the north here, Archmage is going to be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal to retreat. A couple of peasants or riflemen going to get taken out, as we see a retreat back off to the north. There's a Tauren Chieftain going to be able to get off a Shockwave. Not quite sure why we don't see a Shockwave here. A bunch of low hit point units. There's the Shockwave. Archmage, well, does level up first. Still has plenty of life for now, as a Scroll of Town Portal inbound by RazerMoon to offer a bit of protection. Mountain King, no Stormbolt needed. Perhaps just going to try and take down the Raider the old-fashioned way. There's level 2 now on the Mountain King. There's a little bit of slow. Mountain King could try and catch up. Does have Boots of Speed, but unable to catch up with a Stormbolt there. All right, some 2v2 action going across the board. RazerMoon going to be losing this expo here. Looking at MuscleMike, he still has plenty of gold. 1,300 gold, can easily spend it, as he is currently sitting at 34/31 supply. Meanwhile, well, MassOwn sitting at 63/90 does have this expo still, as we could be looking at an engagement down to the south, well, and off to the north. Tactically attacking where your opponent is not. That seems to be MuscleMike's strategy, trying to take down this Hunter's Hall or perhaps these buildings, but enough ranged defense could cause a bit of problems. All right, there goes an ensnare. Raider could have a little bit of a bad day. Naga Sea Witch going to be completely surrounded, and with no easy, well, retreating path, going to have some problems. There's a Staff of Teleportation, as we could be looking at a, well, no, ensnare onto this Raider or onto this Dryad there. Meanwhile, battle in the middle portion of the map, a little bit of chasing, a little bit of fleeing, but more damage being done by Mike, taking down these, well, perhaps important buildings off to the north. A little bit of Spirit Link also cast across, as well as we see a ninja base by RazerMoon trying to take this southern expo, which is awfully close to is where MuscleMike's original expo was lost. Raider's going to engage here. Well, tactical retreat, Scroll of Town Portal going to head back. Is that Raider going to fall? And no, that Raider escapes away at 2 hit points. All right. The big question mark now is RazerMoon's expo here at that 7 o'clock spot. If that can get established and start mining gold, well, MuscleMike and MassOwn is going to greatly miscalculate any advantage that they might have, since, well, a little bit of extra gold goes a long way. It looks like MuscleMike is going to be scouting out this location. I don't think they've spotted it just quite yet. Nightfall, and no, they did not spot it. Nightfall, this is on high ground, didn't spot that there is an actual expo there. All right, that's probably... All right. What this one Wisp is there to try and scout out, whether or not there was an expo. All right, Raider of MuscleMike does come back around, does spot it, and there should be an eventual calculation. Scroll of Town Portal inbound, Potion of Mana. Tauren Chieftain goes back to pick it up. Is he going to turn around and Shockwave? There's some Spirit Link and perhaps some Disenchant. There's an Ensnare going down, and no Stormbolt cast, as they are still retreating back. Army's going to try and engage here, but the army of Jen's looking very strong here, very powerful. The Sorceress is able to easily shoot it down that last Spirit Walker there, as MuscleMike gonna be, well, retreating all the way back home. Naga Sea Witch is at 3, Demon Hunter getting close to 5, Dual Gloves of Haste, Boots of Quoth the Lost, Boots of Speed. How he's wearing 2 sets of boots, I do not know. Yeah, boots and boots, yeah, so he's wearing 2 pairs of boots right now, and they somehow are working. You'd think that it would slow him down, right? Wearing that many shoes. It's got to be cumbersome. Anyways, coming back. Well, Demon Hunter, Naga Sea Witch, ready to poke apart and engage this Expo at the 4 o'clock spot. Demon Hunter going to take some arcane feedback damage from that arcane tower. Meanwhile, off to the north here, well, players trying to build towers first. Who can get it constructed first, as the Raiders now heading back off to the north. All right, Druids of the Claw going to engage here. You can see this one Druid of the Claw taking quite a bit of damage, but does have rejuvenation going, so able to absorb it quite well. Fairy Dragons overhead. Are we perhaps going to see some mana flare as the Druids of the Claw are going to finish off these guard towers? Massive repairs underway. As you can see, Fork Lightning Peasants are going to get taken down pretty quick. There's that mana flare. There's a Staff of Preservation for the save here, as the Demon Hunter trying to finish off some of these units. One low hit point Druid of the Claw does finally get taken down. Book of the Dead, I believe, was used here. Mana flare just, well, lighting up everything across on this side of the base, as the Demon Hunter is pushed into the back corner here, trying to take down this last guard tower. All right. 3 bases, the 3 bases on both sides. That one low hit point water elemental should just get cleaned up. There's a Fork Lightning trying to take down more peasants, and that water elemental is pretty much free experience right there. Is it going to get taken out first? There's invisibility now on that Mountain King. Water elemental finally taken out. Are we going to see a tactical retreat? Naga Sea Witch does have a Scroll of Town Portal, does send that Demon Hunter back home, and then will be teleporting back home as well. Demon Hunter back home. You can see Demon Hunter drinking from those Moonwells. Naga Sea Witch as well. There's a single Fork Lightning trying to break free. Dryads and Treants coming across here. There's a mana burn again, as the Demon Hunter of MassOwn kind of stuck in this back spot. Meanwhile, down to the south, MuscleMike trying to break through on the southern portion, but this hit and run tactic has not been working well for MuscleMike, especially since he's lost that extra economy to try and, well, trade efficiently. Back off to the north. Well, MuscleMike's Dire Wolves quickly scouting out a potential Expo attempt. Demon Hunter has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, going to quickly use it as well. Perhaps try and finish off some of these units. There's another mana burn. Druids of the Claw are engaging. There goes one Dryad, as, well, RazerMoon being forced to retreat back again as well. Perhaps we'll see some, well, transformation back into Druids, some rejuvenations. There's 2 brand new Druids of the Claw ready to go. These guys need to be rejuvenated. We need to see some repairs here, as the army of Mayhem are ready to engage, and we may see a little bit of a pincer class against MuscleMike. Stormbolt finding the back, well, that back Raider Archmage up to level 5, going for level 3, level 3 water elementals, most likely, unless it changes to Brilliance Aura. But it can't quite tell because I don't have the proper 2v2 overlay. Anyways, massive battle here in the center portion of the map. Demon Hunter, all the heroes are here. All the armies are here fighting back and forth. Archmage trying to push back the other way. That Archmage, or excuse me, that Druid of the Claw going to give level 4 to the Naga Sea Witch, as we just push back again. It just seems like Gens and RazerMoon's, well, massive army of ranged units able to pick apart damage on the Druid of the Claw's front line. Add in the fact that the Raiders have not been able to easily do hit and run tactics, and things are not looking good for MuscleMike and MassOwn. All right. Coming across here, MassOwn's base slowly crumbling. You can see, well, the Raiders trying to dip inside here, cause problems with 2 guard towers, massive repairs, and level 1 masonry upgrades. It doesn't look like this castle is going to be easy to take out, as units are still looking to fall back here. All right, Tauren Chieftain out of mana. Meanwhile, base off to the north. This base of MassOwn going to get cleaned up, and this is just turning into a base race scenario. Army of Mayhem quickly retreating back with a Scroll of Town Portal to try and protect there is still a lot of bases here, 70 over 80 supply, as we may see a tactical retreat by RazerMoon here in just a moment. All right, that Druid of the Claw getting taken out, Keeper of the Grove, Priestess of the Moon, and Naga Sea Witch. Triple Orb of Venom strategy as the Scroll of Town Portal comes in. Demon Hunter down to 26 hit points. It looks like it could get taken down to 16 hit points. Gets taken out. Keeper of the Grove, tactical retreat in time, but does lose the Priestess of the Moon. Level 1 Priestess of the Moon will resurrect extremely quickly. Perhaps cancel one Dryad or Druid of the Claw to get that Priestess of the Moon back out on the battlefield. That True Shot aura providing bonus damage to all of the Night Elf army pretty much, since there are no melee units. Mayhem on the southern side, or excuse me, Gens on the southern side here, trying to establish up this expo. Couple of guard towers, perhaps needs to place down an arcane vault, a lumber mill, other buildings to offer the similar protection as we saw here for Mayhem. All right, Spirit Wolf or Dire Wolf coming across to the side there. Meanwhile, Dryads gonna get ready to push. Remember, Keeper of the Grove is at level 6, has access to Tranquility. Tranquility has been nerfed a little bit, but still very, very powerful. Shadow Hunter, Blizzard, Archmage gets, forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal to tactically retreat all of these towers, just simply going to get canceled, as that would be a 2v1 fight. All right, Keeper of the Grove still engaging here. Well, there goes one Dryad. Treants are going to get cleaned up easily, as, well, the Tree of Eternity has fallen. Fork Lightning, no more mining on the main bases. So there is a little bit of mining here, some mining here, and only another, 5 seconds of mining left for the Orc of MuscleMike here. And, 6 minutes of mining at this expo. So it is one base to one base on both sides. Shadow Hunter does get to level 2. He's going to go back, pick up that Manual of Health. Nah. Whoever heard of heroes running out of hit points? That just doesn't happen. All right, Ancient Protector, MassOwn trying to protect here. Meanwhile, Treant's going to knock on this Hunter's Hall and take it down easily, as RazerMoon moves about the map to find a better place to attack. Meanwhile, Tree of Eternity has uprooted and moved its way off to the north, entangling a new gold mine. It soon will be 2 bases to 1, Mike able to set up this expo down to the south side, that tiny great hall from the Voodoo Lounge, allowing for quick production right there. All right, Treants trying to make their way over. That's gonna, timed life, such a cruel fate. Meanwhile, Ancient of War trying to protect here. Are the Wisps gonna be able to jump inside? Oh, wow. A split second earlier, and all the Wisps would have been able to make it inside. Instead, MassOwn able to get that Fork Lightning off, and now this Tree of Eternity is taking quite a bit of damage. Army now trying to make their way over. Are we going to see damage get racked up here? Staff of Preservation trying to send units back. There's a Blizzard raining down, and the Tree of Eternity may end up falling. Are we going to see any repairs? No, we are not. Down to 200 hit points, down to 150, down to 144, and it may hold on. It does hold on at 117 hit points and now climbing. All right, that was a big deal right there. RazerMoon keeping this Tree of Eternity alive. Going to be able to repair it, perhaps get a little bit more hit points on it, and continue to move forward. Meanwhile, down to the south side, MuscleMike, doing what Orc does best right now with Raiders, hit and run tactics. I also see a Shadow Hunter with Healing Wave trying to bounce things back around. Also, one Peasant trying to stop some of the action mining here, but that's not working. Meanwhile, Dryads are poking off to the north. Keeper of the Grove really hasn't had opportunities to use Tranquility. We haven't seen any of these large engagements that we often see. MuscleMike losing a Dire Wolf due to control magic as he teleports back away off to the north. All right, there's an engagement. Naga Sea Witch, Demon Hunter from the back. This is a 2-on-1 fight here. Staff of Preservation for the save. We see one Raider get taken down and one Druid of the Claw get taken down as well, as the fight now moves to the southern expo of MuscleMike. MuscleMike, well, not going to be able to mine very much from this gold mine line at all. It looks as though this Great Hall will end up falling. And, well, what do you do when you can't protect your own base? You try to do collateral damage, and that's exactly what we're seeing here as a Scroll of Town Portal now inbound. All right, Shockwave comes in a little bit early. Keeper of the Grove is right there. Army of the Human now in position as well, and we do see some Tranquility. All right, however, quick Hex by the Shadow Hunter. Perhaps the Keeper of the Grove should only use Tranquility while out of combat to try and protect here, as the Tauren Chieftain now down to 83 hit points, trying to escape away. No, he gets poked in the back by just far too much damage. That damage over time from all three orbs of Venom causing major problems. Dryad's going to finish off one Wind Rider. They're going to continue to poke apart. Staff of Preservation, more saving, trying to pick apart more units again. There's another Fork Lightning. There goes a Dryad. Entangle onto a Kodo Beast of MuscleMike, and that will get cleaned up, and that will most likely be the game. MuscleMike has left the game, but apparently, well, MassOwn's not giving up just quite yet. All right, Expo down to the south. MassOwn's retreating back here. 26 supply. Excuse me, not 26 minutes into this game. Over 51 supply for MuscleMike. Meanwhile, MassOwn sitting at 33 over 50. Supply counts, let's take a look. 39 over 70 and 72 over 82. Well, yeah, Gens is just absolutely owning everything here with this massive ranged army, spellbreakers, riflemen, and casters working very well together. Archmage with level 3 Blizzard, level 2 Brilliance Aura, and able to just push in more damage again. All right, there's a quick Fork Lightning Nagasi, which finishes off all of those wisps right there, as the Moonwells, well, are getting cleaned up here. Writing is on the wall. This army is so massive, just pushed into a situation where, well, the army is just far too strong for much of anything else to happen. All right. Just waiting for, I don't know. A little bit of a small victory there, taking out a priest. So many guard towers, cannon towers, arcane towers. There's a Scroll of Town Portal to retreat back. Keeper of the Grove going to try and keep that alive. Archmage with Brilliance Aura and level 3 Blizzard, I believe, ends up... Does he actually go down on mana? Okay, he does actually go down on mana, but it is very, very slowly. He started this round of Blizzard with 350, and then if he Blizzards again, would be down to 325 right now. So mana recovery rate looking very good. All right, Priestess of the Moon falls at level 3. Demon Hunter falls at level 3. RazerMoon gets up to level 7 on the Keeper of the Grove, and that is enough. All right. Good game overall. 2v2 matchup, back and forth. Both sides setting up expos. Both sides, well, working together. A lot of action all across. Let me know what you guys thought these players could have done better. As well, you study your replays to see where you went right, where you went wrong, and why you lost. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.